Hey guys, today, by the way, it's Gary here from RV Living Life. And of course, I'm out walking Lexi again. Where is she there? There she is. So, if I'm a little out of breath, it's because it's freaking cold here, man. It's like 3 below. I think it's 11 below with the wind chill. So, that's pretty cool. And gonna just have a short clip here. Today we're gonna be talking about my trip my family trip to Manitoulin Island. What a great trip that was. And we went in August and now it's winter. Oh, hey, there's Ken. Say hi, Ken.
What's that?
Wave. So anyway, we went in August and I'll be back in a little while, man. I'll bring a box, don't worry. Box of wine, that is. Anyway, we went to Manitoulin Island in August, and it was a great time. Actually, we went for about 13 days. We had to move to 3 different spots so they could accommodate us, but they managed to fit us in. And COVID was still going on, but we were in a contained unit, of course, and we stayed away from everybody, and all the staff there wore masks, so it was really a good experience. Anyway, let's get to the video. Oh, and by the way, I never shot much video while we were there, but I did take quite a few pictures, so we'll see what I can put together here. All right, and thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. So we decided to take a little trip. The idea was to go up to Manitoulin Island and go to Batman's Campground, which is a very popular campground in the eastern part of Manitoulin Island near Little Current. And we decided to go up there to stay there for 2 weeks. We tried calling ahead. We tried booking on their website and we could not get a reservation for the full time we were there. So I called them late one night and the next morning they called me back and they managed to fit us into 3 different spots over the 12 or 13 days that we were staying there. They asked us if that would be okay. We said, sure, we want to come. So that's fantastic. So we left to go up there. But before we did, we decided to, if you're going to go on a trip and it's a nice day, we decided to shine up the coach the day before. And we spent a fair amount of time on it, making it look good, because you don't want to be embarrassed about how your coach looks. You want it to be nice and clean. And my favorite shot here is the one from the side looking to the back. And you can see, down the side, it's hard to tell where the trees end and the coach starts. It's just so shiny and clean. We really love our coach. Anyway, Batman's Campground is up on Manitoulin Island, which is the northern red dot on this map. And we're leaving from Milton Heights Campground down the bottom, Milton Heights. And we're going to go up the 400 and around Georgian Bay, and then come down across the swing bridge into Manitoulin Island. You could also go up and across the peninsula, and you could take a ferry across, but you have to book those way in advance. And due to COVID, we didn't really like that idea of being confined with so many people. And you can't always get on them when you want either. So we decided to just take the 400 and go around Georgian Bay. So off we go. And the first thing we see here is what the locals call Critter Crossing. And this is a land bridge to go across the highway for the animals to cross. And this allows them to cross without getting hit by cars on the highway. The highway is fenced on both sides for hundreds of miles, and the animals have nowhere to cross. And they used to build culverts underneath to try and get the animals to go under, and it never really was very successful. So they're trying this bridge here, which is quite wide, and it has cameras on it, and hopefully it'll succeed. And if so, they're going to make more of them. And then we get near Sudbury. We decided to pull over and have some lunch. We're at a truck stop in the area of Sudbury, Ontario. And we pulled over the grass there and put one slide out so we could sit at the table and have lunch. And there's Christina, my daughter, and Carol, my wife, and Lexi, our dog. My son Edwin couldn't come this time because, he had to work. He had a new job and, really happy for him, but he was unable to come on this vacation. So we had our lunch here and then we got back out on the road. And the roads were clear and they were good. Like it's all good roads all the way to Manitoulin. You know, we're quite pleased with that. And you can see here, you know, Lexi and Christina looking out the window. Or actually Lexi is. Christina's looking at her phone. You know how teenagers are. And we're coming towards Manitoulin. You can see the water on the right side there. Northern Ontario is just beautiful. Here you can see the traffic is starting to bunch up. And in the distance you can see the swing bridge. Now this swing bridge is 100 and some years old. They built in 1912. They put the cement abutments in there, pillars, what have you, and then 1913 they built the bridge. And you know, building a bridge in 1913, that's quite the accomplishment. This bridge is closed during the night, and during the daytime at the top of every hour it swings open for the boats to pass for 15 minutes and then swings closed again for all the cars and traffic to go over. At one time this bridge was a railway bridge, and then it was made to, you know, combine railway and cars, and eventually just cars. And this is the only way onto Manitoulin by vehicle. You know, you can go by the ferry on the south shore, or you can come across this bridge. Now, like I was saying, it was built a long time ago just for the railway. You can see the workers here back in 1913 getting the job done. And the first bridge, or the first train going over the bridge back then, you know, a steam engine, eh? And then now you have cars going across. I believe this was in the 60s, and then in the 80s it was just paved right over. The rails were removed. It's really quite something to see. Like, it's definitely a tourist attraction. It's an old swing bridge, 100 years old. But after that, once again, the roads were clear and in good shape, and we made it to Batman's. It took about 6 hours, I guess, or 7 hours from the park we're at. And when you're going in, you can see 30 and 50 amp available and free Wi-Fi. Well, we'll get to the Wi-Fi after, but you know, the sites are available, and there's the welcoming sign going into the park. And as you drive in, you turn off to the right and you come to the store. And when you get to the store, I got to say the people were so friendly. You know, they came out, they had masks on because of COVID, which we really appreciated. They took me in a golf cart around the park, showed me different places, and they took us down to, or myself down to the sites. Showed us our first site, which would be down by the water on Sunset or Sunrise Beach. Beautiful pull-through site with water view in front of it. Don't be fooled by the pull-through. You have to drop your car out by the front gate if you know, tow your car behind you like we do. And you'll never get your car into the park, into this spot being towed. But that's fine. We dropped the car and moved in there. And our second site is going to be a small one. It's in the middle of the park. It's just a one-day spot. And then our third site is going to be back by the water again in Sunrise Beach, just a little further down the beach. And these are beautiful spots. And when we first booked, of course, we couldn't get a one spot for the whole term. So they accommodated us by moving us through 3 different spots, which we really appreciated. So I went back to the store with the golf cart and got Carol and, you know, Christine and the dog, and we proceeded down to our spot. And when we got there, my God, what a view. Look at that view at the front window. Like, we're going to have this view for 12 to 13 days. Beautiful. So we got set up, and, you know, we put our mat out and our chairs and everything, and the awning and the screen, and making ourselves at home here. We set it up pretty quick. And, you know, looking back at our site, you know, we're right nestled in the trees there. They came out with a chainsaw on a pole, and they trimmed all the trees back for us. They really made us feel welcome. They did everything they could to make us happy with our site. And we were happy. And, you know, once we're set up, well, it's time for lunch. So Christina started cooking us some lunch. That's my 3 girls there. Carol, my wife, Christina, my daughter, and my dog, Lexi. I love all 3 of them. And it was kind of a cool afternoon. You know, the girls started setting up a fire. And you could see our spot there. The fire pit was off to the side, and it was in the grass and was very soft. So we pulled it out in front of the RV, and we had our fires right in front of the RV, and we barbecued in front of the RV. It was beautiful. And you can see all the wildlife here. Like, it just comes right up to you. We didn't feed any of the wildlife, and we didn't see anybody else do it, but somebody must be. There was no problem with moving the fire pit. You know, they just go by and they wave at you. Everybody was happy. The view is fantastic. One thing about being down here in this spot is this is the greatest spot in the whole park. and these 8 or 9 sites. And everybody in the entire park comes down and walks this path every day. So if you like people watching, it's a great place to be. And you know, at night, it's gorgeous there. You know, you have the water in front of you. You can hear the wildlife, you know, the crickets and the birds and all that stuff. And it's just beautiful. Nice fires. So eventually, after a few refreshments and that, we packed it in, put our stuff back on the mat, and went to sleep. The next morning, I heard the door slam out front. And when I looked out the front window, I could see Christina had gone down early in the morning on the beach to watch the sunrise, which is really nice. You know, she took it upon herself to just go down there and check it out. I really enjoyed that thought. I waited till the sun came up, and then I went down and visited her, and we talked. And I looked back and took a few pictures of the coach. You can see Carol in there with her coffee, and Lexi's in the window there too. And, you know, they're getting up for the morning. The view out the front window is just amazing. Like, what a place. So Christina decided to take a little walk in the water, and she wasn't too happy with the bottom, you know, what she's walking on. It wasn't that great. This place is marked on the map as a swimming area, but nobody swam in this area unless they were swimming out to their boat. If you want to swim, you go over to Sunset Beach, which is a beautiful sandy beach. This is one of their stock photos, but everybody goes down there to swim, and they go over here to hang out. So, you know, we did a lot of dog walking and fires and hanging out. It was really a good time. You can see Carol here is showing the coach a little love in there, shining up the rims. I shined up the coach, and she shined up the rims, so, you know, it really looked nice. We love our coach. And our view, you know, we sat out front, and every day people just walked by, and there we were. We were right on the beach, and we loved it. What a great place. So, you know, we cooked marshmallows, and we looked at the view in the evening, and all day it was just beautiful. We had the barbecue set up out in front of the coach there, and we barbecued right there. We could watch us. Everyone could watch us eat and cook. Made some crazy burgers, you know. Lexi liked laying on her carpet, and there was dogs on both sides of us. So at some points in the day, she was looking one way at the dogs over on that side, and then every now and then she'd flip over and look at the dogs the other side. Like when you go to campgrounds, there's always lots of dogs. People just love dogs. RV people have dogs. And then it was time to move to our second spot, which is much smaller. So the day before going over there, I decided to take a walk over and see if we can fit in that spot. Took Lexi for a walk. And when I got there, sure enough, there's a Dutch Star there. 45-footer, beautiful coach. So if they can get their 45-footer in there, well, I can get ours in there too. You know, we're 45 feet as well. And once we got our coach into the site there and we got set up, I realized that we had great Wi-Fi. So that's one thing that irked us. When we were down by the water there, we had no Wi-Fi. And when you drive in, there's a sign that says free Wi-Fi. And when you book, it says on the website free Wi-Fi. But when you go down by the water there, there's nothing. And then when you get up to the site there, where I was near the community center, apparently that's where the Wi-Fi comes from, you get great Wi-Fi there. So if you want Wi-Fi, you got to get a campsite by the community center. And if you want a nice view, which I would recommend, I would go down to Sunrise Beach. I put a circle on the map here, so if you're booking on their website, this is where we were picking up the Wi-Fi from, so that circle probably shows a good area where you would get good Wi-Fi. Not too many sites. You might get a little further than that, but that's about it. So we didn't put out our mats or anything that day, or put our awning out. We were only going to stay there for one day. And we decided to take a hike into the woods. We took a drive west to the Cup and Saucer hiking trail, which is really beautiful. But this video is getting a little long, so I'll include that hike into the next video. But the views there are unbelievable of the escarpment. So make sure you check out our next video if you really want to see what that's like. It's amazing. And then once we got back, the next morning we moved to our third site, which was down by the water. And you can see it's another beautiful wide site. And while we were there, you know, we just did a lot of relaxation. The girls rented kayaks. They went out on the water, and you know, we sat on the beach. We had more fires. We took Lexi for walks. There's actually a hiking trail there, which is quite nice. It's a 2-kilometer hiking trail right in the park. The sunrises in the morning every day were just breathtaking. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Again, with the wildlife is always walking around. You know, Lexi kept an eye on all the dogs around, you know, looking one way or the other. You can see at the front of the sites, the ground is very soft there. These pull-through sites, nobody pulls right through. You pull in from the behind there, and then you stop, and when you go to leave, you back out. I think one of the best things that happened on this vacation was I managed to capture a really beautiful picture of my wife. Look at how happy she is. I also spent some time with my daughter, Christina. I really believe she enjoyed it too. It was a good time. And of course there was Lexi. I think all of us had a good time. But eventually it was time to go, you know, so we're on our way back. We were there for, I guess, 12 or 13 days. You know, we did a little grocery shopping, got some food, and carried on, and we ended up back in our site back in Milton. Overall, it was about a 12 or 13 day trip. Wish I could remember how many days, but it was the only trip we took in the summer, and it was fantastic. We really loved it. We had such a good time. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. If you want to give us a thumbs up, that'd be great. Maybe subscribe, you know, hit that little bell there so you get notified of any future videos. And, you know, I'm going to go join Ken. He's got a fire going. And, you know, just because it's 11 below out here doesn't mean we can't sit by a fire and have a couple cold ones. You know, one thing to say about Canadian campers, Canadian winter campers, we're not pussies. Anyway, have a great day. Take care. Once again, and we appreciate everything you do to watch us and subscribe. Share the word. Take care. Bye now.